You've brushed the suspicious gravel of the trail ruins. You've fought through the copper vaults of the trial chambers. But what if I told you these two completely different structures are connected by the darkest tragedy in Minecraft history? This is the story of the Final Ascent. Chapter 1. The Copper Exodus. When the Bad Omen curse consumed the trial chambers with blue soul fire, a small faction of ancient builders realized the underground was doomed. Their impenetrable copper fortress had become a cursed tomb. They had only one choice. They broke the heavy copper seals, abandoned their corrupted creations, and began a desperate, suffocating dig back toward the surface, praying the zombie plague had died out over the centuries. But as they finally breached the surface and felt the rain on their skin, they realized their nightmare wasn't over. It was waiting for them. The surface was supposed to be their salvation. But as the first survivors pulled themselves out of the dirt, their hope turned to pure terror in Chapter 2, The Scorched Earth. The builders dug upward, hoping the centuries had washed the zombie plague away. Instead, they emerged into a world that was already dead. Their copper fortresses were sealed beneath the earth, and their diamond armor was lost to the blue fire. Stripped of their magic and their machinery, the greatest inventors in history were left standing in the freezing rain with absolutely nothing. Hunted by the very monsters they spent lifetimes running from, they had to relearn how to survive the night. Survival was no longer about thriving, it was just about hiding. The masters of the underground had to return to the dirt. Chapter 3. The Mud Scavengers. The architects who once forged indestructible copper bunkers were now forced to scavenge like animals. Desperate to survive the endless nights, they clawed at the riverbanks, stacking mud, clay, and baked terracotta to build the primitive, crumbling shelters we now call the Trail Ruins. They had gone from the gods of the overworld to hiding in the dirt, but they knew these fragile mud walls wouldn't keep the rotting hordes out forever. And they were right. The undead were relentless, and the builders knew their time was running out. Chapter 4. The Suspicious Graves. As the fragile mud walls of the Trail Ruins began to crumble under the weight of the undead, the builders accepted a grim reality. They were not going to survive the surface. Instead of fighting, they spent their final hours burying their legacy. They hid their armor trims, tools, and the history of their people inside suspicious blocks of gravel, praying the monsters would walk right over them. They turned their own homes into graveyards for their technology, leaving it for whoever came next. They didn't just bury their tools, they buried their entire history, waiting for the Earth to completely claim them in Chapter 5. The Time Capsules. Centuries passed. The rain washed away their fragile mud walls, and the Earth swallowed the final resting place of the greatest inventors in history. Today we call them the Trail Ruins. When we take our brushes to the suspicious gravel, we aren't just digging up loot. We are unearthing the desperate time capsules of a doomed civilization. Their technology survived. But if the ancient builders were entirely wiped out by the undead, where did we come from? To understand our beginning, we have to witness their absolute end. Chapter 6. The Extinction. The ancient builders didn't just hide in the Trail Ruins, they went extinct, swallowed by the rotting hordes of the overworld until there was nothing left. But centuries later, someone woke up. You. No memories of the copper vaults, no advanced technology, just a primal instinct to punch wood, craft tools, and survive. The dark truth of the Steve theory is this: you aren't just a player. You are the last surviving clone of a dead civilization, waking up to reclaim a world your ancestors destroyed. The Trail Ruins aren't just an archaeology site. They are the graves of our ancestors. And every time you punch a tree to start a brand new survival world, you are carrying on the legacy they died to protect. If you made it to the end of this journey, hit subscribe, drop your wildest Minecraft theories in the comments below, and stay tuned, because the overworld is full of secrets we haven't even begun to dig up.